Ay nga gagid sa tanan, nagpangabay ako kay Senator Drilon kung pwede kita ka hatag sang malipot nga press conference pud sa aton nga mga partner sa media para ma-explicar man kung ano ni ang plano sang syudad para nga makaserbisyo pagid kita sa mga pumuluyo ta diri sa Iloilo. Daw handom gini sa mga Ilonggo nga may ara kita ospital. Amo na nga bisan sang pandemic pa ginplanuhan sang syudad upod sa kay Senator Drilon upod man sa mga membro sang konseyo nga makapangita kita sang fondo. Ang fondo na pangita ta hulam ni sa DBP long term loan para nga makapatindog kita sang ospital. Ang target ta sini will be a 200-bed hospital, kompleto sang tanan nga mga amenities, kag may ara kita nga mga memorandum of agreement sa mga nursing kag doctor medical schools para nga usaron man ining training hospital para ti ang mga nurses nga mga estudyante, mga doktor nga mga estudyante man makatrain diri sa aton nga hospital. Ang total ning beds will be 200 beds pero masugod kita sa 70. Amo lang niya na parang totally ano nato ni ma-operate with 70 beds, no? Kag ang isatang mga plano, maistorya kita sa mga familia diri sa syudad. I have already talked to a number of them nga hatag ko sa ilang isa ka ward nga ilabing sila mabulig sa aton sa syudad. Ingala naton sa ilang mga familia. Kapasalamat gid ko kay Senator Drilon kay paglabot sang bill sa City Hospital kay kinanlan nga may bill para makabulig ang national government. Ginbuligan niya gid kag wala lang ang ginbuligan niya, ginpunduhan niya pa. So I think Senator Drilon will be the one who will talk about it. So thank you gid.
Thank you, Jerry. Una gid sa tanan, let me congratulate Mayor Jerry Treñas and the city government of Iloilo for this initiative in putting up the Iloilo City Hospital and Medical Arts Building. All right. As Jerry has mentioned, this was authorized under Republic Act 11891, which authorized the establishment of the Iloilo City Hospital. But what is important is that the City Hospital is under the direct supervision and control of the Iloilo City government. That is important because it will be Iloilo who will fund this. We know that it is difficult. That's why when the bill came to the Senate, I amended it in order to appropriate 500 million pesos for the construction and equipment of this hospital. So ginbutangan natin ina appropriation for 500 million pesos. Now, this is very critical. You know, the recent pandemic exposed the inadequacies of our hospital system, of our health system. Nakita man naton bisan diri sa Iloilo kag sa bilog nga Pilipinas kulang gid ang aton hospital. And that is why the inadequacies of our health system resulted in the death of over 800,000 of our people due to COVID. And nakita man naton nga ang kakulangan gid sa mga hospital, galibot-libot ang pasyente para makakita sang hospital kag hindi lagi na ang mga pasyente alalawas na sa hospital parking lot. So this showed the critical gap in our health system, and the gap in our hospital system can be attributed sa amon nga pagtuo, sa amon nga pagtanaw. First is the capacity for hospital beds, and I'll later on describe what it is. First, the capacity. Second is the capability or the lack of enough personnel. So first you talk about the capacity, and even if you have the capacity, ang kulang ang aton nga mga doktor kag mga nurses. And of course, the third is the corruption that we see in the health system as exemplified by Pharmally and the PhilHealth corruption. So these three challenges. And again, let me put on record my admiration for Mayor Jerry for taking the initiative. It is not an easy task. It is not an easy task. That is why he has tempered down the expectations by just initially planning for 70 hospital beds on a loan of 500 billion pesos from the BP. And that is why it is incumbent upon the national government to help Iloilo City. That is the reason why we placed an appropriation of 500 million pesos under the law which created the hospital. Now, why am I first? So the first issue is capacity. Kulang ang hospital naton. May ara nga report, Philippine Health Facilitation Plan 2020 to 2040. I repeat the publication. Philippine Health Facilities Plan 2020 to 2040. What does it indicate? It indicates that there are only 105,000 hospital beds as of 2020 all over the Philippines. I repeat, 105,000 hospital beds in 2020. According to the report done by the country has 105,000 hospital beds with a bed density similar to the poorest countries in the world. Can you imagine that? 105,000 hospital beds as of 2020, which bed density is similar to the poorest countries in the world, with a ratio of 1.2 beds per 1,000 population. Our present ratio nationwide is 1.2 beds for every 1,000 population. Ang buot silingon, sa kada isa kalibo ka Pinoy, ang hospital bed is 1.2. Pila ang kinahanglan? According to the WHO, ang standard naton mayor nga kinahanglan is 3 hospital beds per 1,000 population. 3 hospital beds per 1,000 population. Pila kita subong sa bilog Pilipinas? 110 million. So how many hospital beds do we need? At ratio of 3 hospital beds to for every citizen of this country, we need about 330,000. 330,000 beds is needed in the country today. Pila lang nga aton nga hospital beds? 105,000. So that is the gap that we're talking of, between 105,000, which is the number of hospital beds in 2020, as against the need of 330,000. And nationwide, therefore, we need at least today, nationwide, today, we already need, Mr. Mayor, 220,000 additional hospital beds. That is why, that is how important the effort of Mayor Jerry is recognizing this. Because then, by the estimate of the government, you know when we can catch up? In 15 years. About 2040 before we can catch up on the desired ratio of 3 hospital beds for every 1,000 population. And so let's go to the situation in Iloilo City and Province has a population of 2,509,525. I repeat, Iloilo City and Province population 2,509,525. So the bed capacity needed at 3 hospital beds per 1,000 population is roughly 2,500 beds in Iloilo City and Province. So ang kinahanglan naton 2,500 nga mga hospital beds sa probinsya kag sa sa syudad at the ratio of 3 beds per 1,000 population. And right now, how many beds do we have in Iloilo City and Province? 3,100. 3,100 beds in the city and province, consisting of 2,287 beds in the city and 813 beds in the province. So I repeat, at 2,500,000 population, we need 7,500 hospital beds at a ratio of 3 beds for every 1,000. Just to show to you the magnitudes of the problem that we face here. We need, I repeat, 7,500. Right now, we have 3,100 hospital beds. And therefore, we have a gap of roughly 4,400 beds, or thereabouts, 4,500 hospital beds. So this 50 beds is a, if you look at the overall need, gamay pa lang ini, but Mayor Jerry is taking the initiative. Kay mabudlay magpadlagan hospital. Mabudlay, it's one of the most difficult services that a local government can undertake. Kay ti mabakal ka lang paracetamol, mabid ka pa. Ha? Siya do ka budlay magpadlagan sa hospital. Kag kulang ang aton nga mga doktor. Kulang gid sa Iloilo lang pila ang aton nga population, as I said, for Iloilo, 2,500, 2,500,000. Kung again, the standard is 1 physician for every 1,000. So we need about 2,500 physicians in the city and province of Iloilo. Pila ang ato ng mga doktor dire? I do not know, but ang estimate ko is only about less than 1,000 doctors. So ubuhin na ang problema naton, Jerry. May hospital ka na, why ka doktor? Kulang ang doktor mo. And ang nurse mo man kulang. I am sure that our city health officer would agree. She's nodding her head how lacking our personnel is. So we can have all the facilities, but if we lack personnel, then we still have to do that. That is why I would encourage Mayor Jerry to consider the possibility of providing scholarships to the physicians on the condition that they will serve the city. Hindi man na basta tagaan sila scholarship for the physicians and nurses. Pero kinahanglan may corresponding service sa syudad, sa mga hospital. That's the only way. And also, maybe this is a joint undertaking with the province. Kay kay probinsya, mga ato mga kasimanwa, kinahanglan man ina. So I would first, to address the lack of personnel, I would suggest that we review the possibility of providing scholarships for physicians, for medical students, on the condition that they render service. And secondly, on the capacity, I think we should seriously consider a PPP program for hospitals. There are not that many PPP deals or arrangements in hospital industry to increase our capacity, and maybe that is because of the risk involved. That is why sa aton probinsya kag syudad may mga 2,800 hospital beds in the I'm sorry, let me say that again. In the province ba gagabay lang kadyutay sang private hospitals. Bas dako ang public, ang akong research gusto na ang private hospitals diri gamay manang pila
Total of 10
how many beds ang public
Private.
yeah, public and private including the province about 3,100. Out of the 3,100 ang akong record, ang akong research would, there should be about more about 2,300 ang sa national sa city whatever yung basta anyway I don't have the data, but the public hospitals, the private hospitals are very much less than the public. Kay why sang may makapital, why sang may nagasulod, kay sado kataas sang risk for the private sector. Kung why ka pasyente, why ka hindi mo maka. So that is why there is reason for LGUs to look at the possibility of a PPP setup for hospitals. I understand from Governor Defensor that he already sat down with the PPP Center, and they have a model contract which they would like to use in order to add hospitals in the province. Kaya why to hospitals sa probinsya. So that is the way to fund it. It's just a concept. I do not know how realistic that is. But given the lack of resources, why kwartas mo ang gobyerno? Kinahanglan naton participation sa private sector. But the private sector will not just come in kung may risgo nga why sila that it will not be economically viable for them. That is why we need partnership with the government sector para ma-address naton ang risk involved in running a hospital. So again, I would end by congratulating the city government of Iloilo, led by Mayor Jerry, for this initiative in addressing the gaps in the health system in Iloilo City by starting this hospital modestly with 70 beds, hopefully with the 500 million that we included as a budget under the enabling statute, we can help in this in adding over time more capacity to the Iloilo City Hospital because we need it. So again, thank you very much, Jerry, for this effort.
So, thank you, Guid, Senator Drilon. Ang data is 2,287 total hospital beds. Ang government is 1,000. Ang private is 1,287. For the whole province. Iloilo City. Oh, pero di kung mag-upod ka sa province, di, may mga hospital sila sa kada district. Gamay. Oh. Actually, ang tanan nga data, present ko ni tanan sa Mayor's Academy. Kagin pasapasa ko sa mga consultants dito because I went through the Mayor's Academy nga iya sang UN. Kag amo gina senator ang mangkot nila no pagsarang sang syudad no. Sang mangita doktor, mangita nurses. But I really showed kinanlan gid naton ang ospital because kulang kita gid sang hospital beds. Ang PPP is really venue nga maka-level up ang aton services. Ang problema ta lang kay gusto ta nga ang inibilang ospital para gid sa pigado. So kung magsulod ang private sector basi income generating para sa
But
ila.
that's in addition, I mean, that's independently of your effort, Jerry. I'm just saying that we need hospital beds, and since there is resource challenge in the national government, then we should look at the private sector.
Assuming ang 500 million ni Senator Drilon mabutang gina sa budget, pungkuan na namon ang DBM, no? We were also talking with Dr. Julius. Ang 500 na makadto sa mga equipments. MRI, CT scan, mga diagnostics, x-ray, kag iban pa, no? Operating room. Kay si Dr. Julius Drilon has been putting up several hospitals already. Do may experience na siya kung paano ini nga mga kinanlan tagid, no? Ang aton lang ni nga ginalagas is really to have the 70 beds with all the diagnostics, no? Kinanlan, hopefully nga ma-fund sang national government. And then eventually matamaton ta pa sa kaon kung may mga tao na kita, may mga nurses na kita. Ang issue sa mga nurses kag ang doktor hindi tanto, no, pero ang nurses gid dako nga issue. I know for a fact na may mga ospital nagsilira sang pila ka mga wards nila kay why nurse. Kag kung iban nga kung magbata ka, kag mapasulod ka sa ospital, kinahanglan ikaw yung madalas ang imo nurse. Why available, no? Kay pag-abri bala, Senator, sang nga pwede na makagwa ang tanan nga mga nurses, damo ginagwa. And mahinay ang turnover sang mga nurses. Ang isa pagid ka problema, I was with the West Visayas, ang nursing school nila. Hindi lang gali ang mga nurses naglakat, hasta mga maestra nila naglakat. So, they had to turn down, I think, 90 sa mga gusto magsulod. Kaya may na sila maestra. Kaya ang mga maestra nga nurses naglakat man, kaya mas taas do ang sweldo. No? Anyway, I think it's a problem that we will have to deal with. But ang akong tanaw, sige-sige man kung nagsige-sige naman ang klase sa nurses, madugang naman na ang nurses. And that is also the reason, Senator, nga ang city gusto naton nga daw may mga mowa kita sa mga nursing schools, no? Parang makakuha kita sa mga student nurses, no? Ano tawagan ng hospital?
Affiliation, sir.
Affiliation.
Also, we can do, sir, consortium with other private hospitals so they can send rotation sa mga doctors nila just to also minimize the costs ng city for hiring additional.
But just to add to the dimension of the problem of lack of nurses. Jerry correctly pointed out that many of our nurses go abroad. Hindi mo na iya ma-stop kay better pay. But Jerry, maybe you do not know it, but the problem is made worse because our nurses go to the BPOs. Di ba?
Yes, sir.
Not only going abroad, but they are also attracted by the BPOs. So there are no practicing nurses. So the need for nurses in hospitals is made worse by that. So again, that is on the capability of our system to provide the services. And by the way, Jerry, just to provide the press with an accurate count, today there are 2,287 hospital beds in the city. There are 813 beds in the province. Total 3,100 hospital beds. At a population of 2,500,000, at 3 beds per 1,000, we need 7,500 more or less. We have only about 3,100. So roughly, just on a round figure, we need about 4,500 hospital beds in the city and province to be able to meet the standard of the WHO of 1,000 of 3 beds per 1,000 population. So that is the magnitude of the problem that the health system is situated, and Iloilo is no different. It's not any different from where we are nationwide. The only difference is that we have a Mayor Jerry Treñas who is concerned about that. Okay, thank you very much. So I'm open to questions.
Thank you very much, Senator Frank, Mayor Jerry. We are now going to receive questions from the members of the media. Would like to ask the first question, Glenda of Panay News.
Mayor, good morning. Senator, good morning. Sir, since karon sa hapon na ma-ground break ang Iloilo City Hospital, ma-start ini siya right away ang construction. Timeline naton, sir, saan ini siya ma-complete?
Timeline natin will be
After
2 years.
2 years.
2 years ni ang
Ma-complete.
construction. And together with this, may fondo si Senator Migs nga pilato yan.
Ang 200, sir, for the
200.
medical arts.
Butang ta sa Medical Arts Building. Sa kilid man niya sa ospital, para niya sa mga klinika, bala sa mga doktor. Ang problema, gid gali sa nurses, ang sa private gid ang
Yes, sir. For the
problema.
private hospital because of the rate.
Kaya na dumduman ko, may isa di ka hospital director nagreklamo sa akon sang nagkuha kami sa mga nurses bla ka para sa kagdoktor para sa aton nga dialysis center kay halin sa ila nga private nga hospital nagsalaylo sa Admon, no?
It's actually,
Mas
sir,
mahal ang gobyerno.
o sa rate kasi, sir, mas mahal at rate compared sa hospital.
Yes, sir.
Jump ship sila. Marathon sweldo.
Hospitals pay the nurses double, if I'm not mistaken.
More than double, sir.
More than double, sir. Ang
Yes, sir.
sa aton.
To the private sector.
Even the rate, sir, for Iloilo City, even a contract of service is double the rate of the private
Aton
hospitals.
sweldo.
Because we already have a dialysis center. We're opening up a bigger dialysis center next year. So kadamo nagsalaylo sa ato naglikramo. Ang isa ka hospital director, siling ko kay ko hindi na napagwaa kay nakigana ko di.
So it's really a serious problem. Our health system is really challenged, and we hope that it will not get any worse. But we do not see any prospects unless the LGUs follow the example or model in Iloilo, where you have put up your own hospital. Now, in fact, sadly, the trend is on the opposite, Mr. Mayor. when I was a senator, I would always be confronted with the LGUs who would want to renationalize the hospitals because the hospital operation was devolved to the LGUs under the local government code. So nagiging responsibility is really a devolved service to the LGUs. But ang mga local government units, what they're doing is to renationalize kagikarga liwan sa national government ang gasto sa hospital system. And I don't blame them because sado pa ako magasto sa hospital kag gamay ang IRA. So with the increase in the IRA, we do hope that this lack of resources in the LGUs can be addressed by the new IRA, although again, your IRA, sir,
For 2 years.
for 2 years will be reduced because of the pandemic.
Iloilo by 300 million.
Oh, it's 50. Iloilo with 300 million for next year.
For next
And after that,
Wala pa.
because you base the IRA on the national internal revenue taxes collected 3 years prior. So for 2023, the basis is 2021.
Yeah.
And because of the pandemic, well, the taxes collected were very much lower. So that's why Jerry will suffer a reduction of 300 million. On the national basis, it's a 15% reduction from 2020.
Follow up, please.
Mayor, once nga mag-operational na ang City Hospital, how many medical personnel ang kinahanglan sini?
Doc, si Dr. Fortuna gali mo ni aton nga ginalantaw nga hospital director, naga-masters na niya subong sa FINMA para maka-prepare na siya. So, Doc, pilagan ikinanlanta.
Actually, we'll be having sa nurses, may ratio na siya. Depende sa specialty area. So, for the nurses, kung sa nurse, sa surgical, sa ICU, it's ideally is 1:1. 1:1. Ang sa ward is 1:3. Tapos, ang sa doctors naton, this will be a level 2 hospital. That's why this is a departmentalized. So, meaning departmentalized, may department of surgery ka. You have a department of OB-GYN, may pediatrics, kag internal medicine. Unlike sang level 1 nga, hindi siya departmentalized. Ang those catering sang internal medicine, also catering sang pediatrics. So, ang plano naton is a departmentalized. Medyo madamo-damo nga human resource ang kilanlan naton for this hospital. And for those allowed nga outsourcing naton will be outsourcing lang. Tapos ang aton nga mga doctors, that's why we're planning of a consortium. We're in talks with other hospitals so that they can send also their residents, kapin pa mga training hospitals, they can send their residents on rotation to the Iloilo City Hospital just to lessen also the number of medical personnel that we need. So those are the plans for Iloilo City Hospital.
Thank you, Glenn. Next question from Emmy of Radyo Pilipinas.
Good morning, Senator. Good morning, Mayor. Mayor said nga ang hospital for the indigents, mga pigado. Paano ang admission para sa aton nga mga indigents?
Para ni sa aton indigents nga Ilonggos, no? Kay balaan mo, like sa city, we already have 1,287 private hospitals, no? Hospital beds. Inaya para ginaya sa mga pigado, parehas man sa aton bala nga mga dialysis center nga libre ni tanan sa mga pigado ta. So they go through a process maagi na sa aton nga CSWD once kag sa ilang nga kapitan once nga may mga certificate sila sang indigency. Itingwaan tagid nga sa ospital ta libre man parehas man sa aton nga dialysis center.
Yes, sir. Kag pwede naton, sir, for PhilHealth. PhilHealth will also
Masulod
help.
siya sa PhilHealth, assuming nga
Assuming
gabayad
nga magbayad.
PhilHealth. Nagbayad naman PhilHealth, subong nga
Yes,
ito
sir.
ba?
Gabayad na, sir.
Bago na ila director kay ang isang una itong aging kasuhan ta doon, nag-resign na ito, no?
That's a problem. Ang length of time that the hospitals get reimbursed by PhilHealth is a challenge and an issue.
Sir.
The other thing, Mayor, if I may suggest, lack of nurses. What you can consider is probably ladderized concept so that we train our, let's say, our midwives with basic nursing care. Example, mga kwa sang blood pressure, mga injection, di pwede man ni matudloan siguro ang mga nursing aid. Nursing aid. So that you increase the capacity of the regular nurse on the number of beds that they handle by having nursing aids. So you as a solution.
Actually, our nurses and midwives, the midwives in the field right now are already doing that. So, ang midwives natin around na gitman na sila subong, sir.
Yeah.
Take the vital signs and to give it.
That is a step in the right direction because I am told that one nurse can cater to 10 hospital beds. Is that a correct statement? One one nurse would attend to on a normal basis to 10 hospital patients. But if you have nursing aides who can do basic services, like, as I said, taking blood pressure or injection, you can increase the capacity to 18 beds for every nurse. So, bulig.
Do ginamutan na sa quarantine facilities, no? Amo na namon nga during the time sang pandemic nga kadamo sa aton nga mga pasyente kay mahal ang nurse. So nagkuha kita mga nursing aid. Parang sa babaw ang nurse pero may mga nursing aid kita nga kag midwife, no?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Another question, Emmy.
Last na lang, Mayor, bali ang management sa nga hospital under gihapon sa LGU or
The management will be under the LGU. The bill that was approved into law was necessary in order that the national government can give assistance to the hospital, no? So the assistance came sa 500 million nga ginpasulod ni Senator Drilon nga ibutang tas capital outlay para sa mga equipments. And later on, assuming may pondo ang national government, basi may ban pa silang pwede mabuligan from 70 to 200, basi may kwarta pila kadlaw, makabulig man sila. But the bulk of the construction is a loan which was obtained by the city from DBP, nga 500 million. That's design and build mode of construction naton. Amo na nga na-finalize na, I think ready na sila magsugod sang aton nga ospital. And maayo man because ang DPWH madungan man ang obra sang aton nga medical arts building. So basi dungan-dungan lang matapos ining ospital, no? Kagapasalamat man kita sa partnership, no? Because ang aton binutang is 500 million. Si Senator Drilon nakadugang sang 500 million sa equipment. Si Senator Migs may 200 million. So sa 500 million nag 1.2 billion na. Assuming matapos na nito,
What is your construction period?
2 years. Problema ta na lang, mangita kita nurses kag doktor, no? Anyway, by that time siguro damo na makagraduate by that time, no? Kay sige na mo ang klase, no?
Nag-increase na, sir, ang enrollments ng nursing, sir. The number of section increased na.
Sige.
Yes, sir.
Actually, nagkadto di ang mga nursing school sa Senator. Kay diri lang kita gahatag isang libre nga RT-PCR test. So, tanan nila nga mga estudyante, gina-require nila nga may RT-PCR test. Ang city of Iloilo is giving it for free to all the students. So, students ang doctors, students ang St. Paul's, students ang West, tanan, gakadto di kay gina-libre na lang sila.
Just talking about need of for physicians, there is a study that I saw wherein in the Western Visayas, the gap is 6,000 doctors in Western Visayas. Ang kulang natin sa Western Visayas for a population of about 8 million people. We need 6,000 physicians more. That's how, again, serious the lack of personnel manning our health system is. Nurse, not only nurses, mas kundi ang importante ang doktor man. So again, there is really an urgent issue to be addressed in the health system. Thank you.
Angel of Bombo Radio.
Mayor, good morning. Good morning, Senator. So, Senator, may yara bala kita update about sa bridge sa Iloilo Guimaras. Bridge sa Taytay.
Taytay?
Sa Panay Guimaras.
All right. Okay, the update is this. The feasibility study has been revised because the feasibility study was done by the Chinese government initially because they were going to fund the PGN or Panay Guimaras Negros Bridge. However, nag-atras ang China, as you know. So the government had to look for a new funder, and they were able to discuss and have an agreement with Korean Exim Bank, which also built our Halaor, Mr. Mayor, to do the feasibility study. My information, the feasibility study has been done. And by December, they should be able to come up with the contractor who will do the detailed engineering design. A consultant who will do the detailed engineering design, not yet on civil works. I will emphasize just to appoint a consultant for the detailed engineering design. Now, so by December, they should have that consultant and advisor in place. And my understanding is that given the magnitude of this project, it will take probably about 18 months for the detailed engineering design to be finished. And therefore, you are looking at a possible bidding for civil works in about 2 years' time that they can start the appointment of the contractor and the actual construction. So I repeat, the detailed engineering design should be finished about in about 18 to 24 months, and then they will now bid it out for the contractor for the civil works. My information is that the Korean Exim Bank is favorably looking at the Panay Guimaras portion, favorably considering the for lending the Panay Guimaras. There are no possible lenders for the Guimaras Negros because that is the longer portion. So mas dako ang kinahanglan. But just to make it clear, no government has committed to fund but the Korean government through the Exim Bank is favorably considering providing loan for the Panay Guimaras portion. But there are no significant development yet insofar as funding the Guimaras Negros Bridge.
Thank you, Senator.
Is it pursuing the same topic as Angel or we're going back to the hospital topic? Okay, sige. Sabian of DYSI.
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Senator. Mayor, initially, Mayor, with regards sa aton problem sa mga nurses, initially, Mayor, anong mga dapat naton himuon encouragement abi especially sa mga students and mga graduates na nga wala nagpractice ang ilang profession?
Ang Iloilo City has a number of nursing scholars, no? Gakuha scholarship. And so far, sa city, daway kita problema sa pagkuha ta nurses. No?
Wala,
Yes,
sir,
yes, sir.
actually, sa radiation unit, we receive
Kaya
for radiation
nagpangayo
unit, we
kita,
receive big folders.
sobra na ta, no?
Yes, sir. We open 25 slots, pero damo-damo na gid ang ga-apply for that.
Taas aton rate sa city.
Kahit sa government, taas ang rate. Ang problema really is the private. No?
Ilang starting days sa private?
So, ang pinakataas, sir, is 14K in a month.
14,000.
Pinakataas na?
Oo, sir. 14 to 16. Pinakataas na, sir.
Pila inyo yan?
Ang aton is
19.
900 per day.
900 per day. Almost mga 19 to 20,000 take home.
So, damo kita yan nag-apply? Damo?
Glenda again, Panay News.
Sir, just a clarification. Is the city hospital exclusive only for the city residents or i-open natin ini for ban?
Ang aton siguro nga priority really city residents, no? Pero siguro kung may emergency nga taga-probinsya, we will not turn them down. No? You understand, gati ari man lang kita di sa probinsya kag nakita taman ang sitwasyon sa pandemic nga kalabanan sa probinsya.
Diri na admit.
Diri gani ang data to nga gina-present ko sa IATF pila gani ito ang sa probinsya nga ari di sa aton ospital.
70% of
70% of the 1,287 tanan taga-probinsya. So, ang mga taga-syudad ay na lugar because, So, priority is really for the city residents. Pero kung may bakante kang bed, kag may emergency ang taga-probinsya, I don't think we will turn them down. We should also accept them.
Sir, may I correct the rate? Ang 900 na sir, is for the contract of service nga rate. For the permanent nga nurses naton, sir, it ranges from 30 to 34,000 in a month.
For permanent.
For permanent plantilla. And we
Permanent plantilla, how much?
are 30 to 34, sir.
30,000
Yes, sir.
per month for public.
4 hours.
For CP
for
government.
public.
For
For public, sir. Yes.
And the private?
Amo lang, 14 to 18,000 lang. Kamay
That's
lang
what
sa
I thought it is, but I didn't want to dispute you.
Oo.
I thought that
Sa barato,
public would pay
gito.
about 32,000
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
total per
Starting.
Per month, sir.
versus about
14.
14 to
14.
18K.
14 to 18,000 for the private
Yes, sir.
sector. That is why it is
Nasaylo sila.
gasaraylo na
Oo.
tanan.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Oo.
The 900 per day is for the contract of service lang, sir. Which is more higher pa sa private.
Higher man kapon sa private. Sa contract of service.
Thank you, Docs. Are there any more hospital-related questions? If none, can the Mayor and Senator answer questions related to another topic? Because Pombo Angel has a question. Go ahead, Angel.
Yes, Senator. Last, mga core reaction, Senator, about pagkapili ni former Vice President Leni Robredo as House Her Leader sa Harvard, Senator.
It recognizes her competence and her her exposure to this issue, which is actually a leadership seminar lecture series. She will be away for 3 months, from first week of October to December. The original offer was about 1 year. He said, I cannot be away for that long. So she will start in October, and for a period of 3 months, as I said, this is an issue. I cannot remember exactly what the lecture series is, but is titled, but it is a leadership training and sharing of her experience as a vice president.
Thank you, Senator.
Anybody else? Emmy?
Senator, your reaction on the comeback of the face-to-face Dinagyang Festival next year?
I'm sorry?
Face-to-face Dinagyang Festival next year.
That's the most welcome, face to face. But of course, I have confidence in the leadership of Mayor Treñas that there will be an appropriate measures. Appropriate measures will be undertaken to minimize. The COVID is still with us. No, make no mistake about it. It's still with us, and therefore, but the face-to-face presentation of the Dinagyang is most welcome, because that will also invigorate the economy of the city and province, which has been in doldrums because of the COVID-19. And by the way, let me take this opportunity to announce to the press that in, I think, November 12, I will be bringing to Iloilo 50 delegates from the Asian parliaments in an organization called the Council of Asian Liberals and Democrats. They will come to Iloilo, 50 of them, and Mayor Jerry, I understand, was a participant in one of those seminars abroad. So we will bring them to Iloilo on November 12. The seminar should have about 50 parliamentarians from all over Asia and about 100 local delegates. So this will again expose Iloilo to the world as a destination for ano tawag doon? MIC, MICE. MICE. This will further enhance our image as a MICE convention destination. So this is about mid-November. I think it's November 12, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, November 12.
For the information of Senator Drilon, because Senator Drilon has been pushing Iloilo to be a MICE destination. For the past 3 days, we had all the regional directors, the provincial directors, city directors of DILG. They were here. They went around the city. They went around your esplanade, the Benigno Aquino Avenue, and all the other sites, Molo Plaza, etc. Next week, Governor Peter Onabia will be here together with 75 of his board members, mayors, etc. And they will be having their ELA here in Iloilo City.
We envision this with Mayor Jerry. We cannot compete with Boracay because they have a natural facility, the beach. We cannot compete with them. So what do? We put up the convention center and we attract conventions so that they come to Iloilo because of the convention. And after that, they become tourists. That is why Mayor Jerry has been pushing for the rehabilitation of the plazas as public parks. You know, this is something, hindi lang napapansin ito, but this will really put us back on the map as a tourism destination. You have already seen Molo Plaza and Molo Church. You have seen the Belfry being rehabilitated. You have seen La Paz. You have seen Plaza Libertad and Sunburst Park. These are public places. If you think kung diin nga syudad sa bilog ng Pilipinas, may ari sini, mabudlayan ko mamangita. Kita lang ang una gid nga maghatag sang facility, open public spaces for our people to enjoy. Kay kita is the only city that I know which would have a plaza in every district sa siyudad. Pero napabayaan ini. Ti sa dumungusang una, ginbutangan sang dako nga Freedom Grandstand. Ti ang atuba ang likod sang ang Sunburst Park. Why naging sumay nakakanto kadulong kahigko. Anong ginobra naton? Ginguba naton ang Freedom Grandstand sa JM Basa and repaired the Sunburst Park, and now we are repairing the Aduana so that it will become a museum of maritime history. So again, this will not only provide a good area for our people, but also will attract visitors. So again, this is an initiative that Mayor Jerry took, and I understand, Jerry, that your Haro Plaza is something that you have to. It's a challenge for you to rehabilitate.
For Haro Plaza, we are seriously considering transferring the covered gym to another place. There are 3 areas which we are already looking at, which are open spaces in some of the subdivisions in Haro. We are looking at transferring the ABC Hall to another place, and also the CSWD for Haro. No, we have already identified places for that. We will finalize the plan. It seems that people want the plaza to be cleared of the covered gym, no, and the prehistoric animals there. So we will be. I'm already starting to talk to architect Alcazaren, who, by the way, started work here as the planner for the esplanade, the bridges, the Benigno Aquino, no, for Senator Drilon.
Okay. Can we get the last question, or are we okay? You want? Okay, Reggie.
Senator Frank, good morning, sir. Right now, we're having redevelopments of different markets all over the city. Your thoughts on this? Implication, probably, if these will push through all over the city, what will be the opportunities for the public and especially for the Ilonggo, sir?
First of all, I want to make it to record that I fully support the redevelopment of the Tienda Mayor, kag ang aton supermarket, supermarket. You know, when I was a small boy, I would accompany my grandmother to the Tienda Mayor. May dala ko nga alat. Siya kapan since the time in the 1950s, the wagid na sang improvement. And it took Mayor Jerry the initiative again to enter into a PPP setup with SM, and I look forward really to the development of those 2 areas because it will add to the economic activity and vibrancy of the city. And the economic activity will create more jobs, especially for the small, for the micro, small, and medium enterprises. and industry. The MSME sector will be greatly benefited with better facility, including those who are already there, who are guaranteed to have a space. It will improve. And this should be, again, a model for the development of the other markets around the city, the smaller ones, including Haro, La Paz. These are the areas that can be also developed under the same setup of a PPP, which Mayor Jerry has initiated in the two central markets.
Thank you so much. And with that, we end our press conference. We'd like to thank Senator Franklin Drilon and Mayor Jerry Cañas for having the press conference. Thank you also to Dr. Adabel Tang and Dr. Roland J. Fortuna for joining us. To our friends from the media, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and have a pleasant day.
Thank you, Gid. Kita ita karon sa hapon sa groundbreaking. Thank you, Gid. Ito namin. Okay ba